Hi, Joe from Excel Formulas here, and today we're going to discuss the VLOOKUP function, which is, for lack of a better word, awesome. The VLOOKUP function allows us to look up an entry in a list. For instance, if we wanted to know the name of product 006 from this price list, the VLOOKUP function would tell us that it's black widget. The VLOOKUP function will also tell us that the price of product 006 is $955. Now let's see how and when we can use the VLOOKUP function. Consider this sales order sheet. If we didn't have the VLOOKUP function, we would have to manually look up the description and the price for each item we wanted to include in the sales order. Fortunately for us, VLOOKUP allows us to automatically retrieve this data. Let's see how that's done. The first parameter of the VLOOKUP function is the value that will be used to look up the entry. In our case, it is the item number. The next parameter is the table range in which the VLOOKUP function will search for the entry. We'll fill in the table range by navigating to the price list sheet and selecting the table area. While we are here, I'd like you to notice the following. The VLOOKUP function always uses the first column in the table array to locate the entry. So, we need to make sure that we select a range that contains the values used to find the entry in the first column. Also note that the description of the product is found on the second column, and that the price is found on the third column. Now let's press the comma key and continue with the formula. The next parameter is the number of the column that contains the data the VLOOKUP function will retrieve. In our case, that would be the item description that is found in the second column of the table array. The last parameter tells Excel whether we want to find an exact match or an approximate match. We want to find an exact match, so we will enter false. Note, in almost all cases you will be using the exact match option. And now the formula is done, and Excel automatically retrieves the item description for us. Brilliant! Now, before we use the fill handle to copy this formula, we need to make one little change. We need to convert the table array range into an absolute reference. Because while we want the formula to look for a different item for every row, we always want the formula to look for it in the same range in the price list sheet. So we need to convert it to an absolute reference. Now we can use the formula for other items. Note, in 99% of the cases where you define the VLOOKUP table array range, you'll want to define it as an absolute reference range. Now let's adjust this formula to retrieve the unit price. I've changed the number of the column that contains the data we want to retrieve from 2 to 3, which is the column that holds the unit price in the price list sheet. And now all we need to do in order to change an item number or to add a new item is just punch in the item number and the entire sheet calculates automatically. One last thing, if I enter an item number that's not found in the table array, Excel will return a value not available error. In a future lesson, we will discuss how to create Excel sheets that look elegant even when a user inputs a value that triggers an error. The VLOOKUP function is an extremely important time-saving tool, and it also prevents typing-induced errors. And now you know how to use it in your Excel workbooks. Well done! Thank you for your time and attention. For more free Excel training, just enter your first name and email at the top right of this page. You'll get everything you need to know about Excel formulas all in one place. All you need to do is enter your first name and email at the top right of this page. If you are not watching this video on the Excel Formulas site, then go to www.freeexcelvideos.com and follow the instructions. That's www.freeexcelvideos.com. Thank you.